Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Dax Hill finding his sea legs at CB, Bengals DC says. The Cincinnati Bengals drafted Dax Hill knowing that he could potentially play throughout the secondary. Going into his third season, however, they have already abandoned attempts to make him a safety, at least for now. He has lost his starting job at that position and is now fighting for one as an outside cornerback. Defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo is closely monitoring his progress this spring, a process he calls getting his sea legs. There were some instances this spring where he probably didn't do the right thing early on, Anarumo said of Hill, via The Athletic. By the end of spring, he was right on that same error. You are seeing that. You are seeing him get the concept of what we are trying to do with each call. There will be some growing pains, hopefully early, nothing that causes big plays, but the ball is in the air, go get it. That's what a corner has to do. A 2022 first-round pick out of Michigan, Dax Hill started all 17 games last season, logging 1,091 snaps. He recorded 110 tackles with 2 interceptions and 1.5 sacks, but he played a key role in the Bengals' 32nd-ranked defense in explosive passing plays allowed. Cincinnati turned over the safety position, demoting Hill and James Battle this offseason. They signed Geno Stone from the Baltimore Ravens in free agency and also brought back Von Bell to take over. But they know that Hill still has the tools to contribute, it's just a matter of him rediscovering himself. Even last season, Hill only played about 60% of the time as a deep safety. He lined up in the box for 230 snaps, via Pro Football Focus, and another 187 in the slot. Between playing up at the line and out wide, that accounts for another 67 snaps. Hill's final season in college saw him play primarily in the slot, logging 580 of 831 snaps there. The problem is wide corner is the position at which he is the least experienced. He logged under 100 snaps out wide throughout his 3-year tenure at Michigan. Not even in the preseason the last 2 years did he spend much of any time there. But this is an issue that he brought upon himself. Dax Hill's own play is the reason that he is looking for a different role in the starting lineup. PFF charges him with allowing 32 receptions for 457 yards and 4 touchdowns in 2023. Those are not the kind of numbers you want to see out of your safeties. On the whole, Hill held up in his other duties as a defender, but his work in coverage proved a fatal flaw. The Bengals felt they needed to take him out of that position now, hoping he can step up elsewhere. Perhaps on an island, he can rely solely on his athletic abilities, shielded from some of the complexities of scheme. But they need to see him get his sea legs first, before they toss him back in the water. Is Joey Porter Jr. the NFL's next lockdown cornerback? The Pittsburgh Steelers sure hope so, anyway. Their second-year starter, Joey Porter Jr., showed as a rookie that he can hang with opponents' top wide receivers. But those top receivers didn't always represent the best the NFL has to offer, and he certainly had some issues. For one thing, he has to clean up his penalties, for example. Porter came along slowly last season, the Steelers gradually working him in. He graduated from dime defender to full-time starter over the course of the first half of the year. Not long after that, he began requesting and receiving shadow assignments, and holding his own in the process. Now NFL teams have a full season's worth of tape on him, though, and know what to expect. They will know Porter's tendencies and will figure out how to exploit them. Every single opponent will know how many penalties he drew last year, and they'll try to get him to bite. Porter's performance as a rookie is undeniable, though, and he should only continue to grow. While offenses learn about him, he is continuing to evolve, sharpening his skills. And it's not as though he breezed through as a rookie, drawing some tough assignments like Ja'Marr Chase. This season will pose plenty of challenges from the aforementioned Chase and Amari Cooper within the division, as well as non-divisional receivers like CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, and Drake London. But how many opportunities will the Steelers grant Porter for these one-on-one assignments? The coaching staff seemed to shy away from promising that this year, and that's partly because of Dante Jackson. Last year, the Steelers knew they couldn't lean on Patrick Peterson or Levi Wallace in that way. But they believe they have two cover corners now in Joey Porter Jr. and Jackson. Of course, you don't necessarily need to follow one player around all day to be a lockdown corner. Guys like Richard Sherman and Nnamdi Asomugha played sides, and they struggled when they didn't. Porter can move around, and that's to his advantage, but all he needs to do is shut the guy down across from him, wherever he lines up. Brandon Aiyuk 49ers trade destinations, Steelers, Commanders top list. Brandon Aiyuk and the San Francisco 49ers are at a crossroads. The disgruntled wide receiver reportedly met with head coach Kyle Shanahan and general manager John Lynch this week. Aiyuk's representatives and the 49ers appear to be at an impasse as they try to negotiate a long-term contract extension. Aiyuk, 26, is in the final year of his rookie deal that will pay him $14.1 million for the upcoming season. He wants to be paid among the top receivers in the league, who now make in the range of $30 million annually. However, the 49ers already have receiver Deebo Samuel under contract for 2 more years on a 3-year, $73.5 million deal. This offseason, San Francisco signed Christian McCaffrey to a new contract that makes him the highest-paid running back in the league. The Niners also have lucrative long-term deals with Nick Bosa, Trent Williams, Javon Hargrave, Fred Warner, and George Kittle. And after the 2024 season, Brock Purdy will be eligible for a new contract that will make him one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in the league. Even with San Francisco chasing a Super Bowl, Aiyuk could be too expensive to keep beyond 2024. To protect themselves at the position, the 49ers signed number 3 receiver Jauan Jennings to a 2-year, $15.4 million deal and drafted receivers Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing in April. Lynch said in early May that the Niners were past entertaining trade offers for Aiyuk and Samuel. But if negotiations go sour with Aiyuk and San Francisco is willing to move on at some point this summer, here are 5 teams that make sense in a trade. The Steelers need veteran receiver help and have shown interest in a potential trade for Aiyuk. Whether it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields who emerges as the team's new starter at quarterback, Pittsburgh could use a top-flight receiver opposite big play guy George Pickens. According to Over the Cap, the Steelers are spending $14 million in receiver salaries, 3rd lowest in the NFL. And Pittsburgh has about $16 million in cap space, so the team can afford to sign Aiyuk to the deal he wants. Pittsburgh averaged just 18 points per game last year and had one of the worst passing offenses in the league, averaging just 186 yards per game. With Aiyuk, the Steelers would have a chance to create balance on offense, pairing 2 talented receivers with an already strong running game. That would help them compete in one of the NFL's best divisions. Former San Francisco front office executive Adam Peters now serves as general manager for Washington, so his experience with Lynch and the 49ers could help broker a fair trade for both sides. Aiyuk and Commanders rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels were teammates at Arizona State, and the receiver knows Washington assistant Anthony Lynn from his time with the 49ers. The Commanders could use a talented receiver opposite Terry McLaurin, and Aiyuk would have an instant rapport with Daniels. In mid-June, Aiyuk FaceTimed Daniels and told him that the Niners don't want him back. Then this week, there were rumors that San Francisco had discussed an Aiyuk deal with Washington before the draft. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.